We started this Bible curriculum journey in the spring of 2021, when at that time, teachers from across the 3 campuses came together to establish a list of learner attributes, like a learner DNA. Who do we want our learners to be? What do we want to bring out in our Christian and Bible curriculum? And so we answered the question of, who are we as a Christian community? And that led to some really wonderful discussions and really got the excitement growing. Shortly after that, Kevin and I worked together to map out what would this process look like. We needed a plan. And one of the first things that we worked on in this plan was coming up with formational Christian teaching practices. A list of ways of being, ways of teaching, ways of establishing the atmosphere in our classrooms, not just in Bible, but throughout our school days, so that there would be consistency, faithfulness to God and His Word, and continuity.
In the fall, we built our curricular competencies and engaged with curricular review teams just on what was already there in terms of resources, talked about what was going well, what we valued at each grade level. From there, we did a curricular analysis of the resources. We outlined our curricular philosophy and approach, a spiral curriculum, balance of teaching content. We wanted to also increase the depth in terms of content and increase competencies as we move up through the grades from K-12. From there, we developed our guidance documents and our teaching practices. We built our website page, wrote a rationale and introduction for each of them. We started a consultation to frame the content standards at each grade level. There were focus groups, surveys, discussions with students, staff, faculty, our education committee. We got feedback from the board and some key external voices. And that brought us to April 8th.
April 8th was a big day for our K-12 team. This was the day that we actually got to sit down and look at the documents that we have been working so hard to create. I really appreciated this time because as a high school teacher, I spent a lot of time in my group in middle school and high school, but it was an opportunity for me to sit down and listen to a perspective from a grade 4 teacher or a grade 2 teacher, and that was fantastic. We also had the opportunity to have Darren Spikesma of SCSBC come and share some of his input as well. And as we sat down in small groups and looked at the learning attributes and tweaked some of the wording, we also looked at the perspective of what is going to be good from a K-12 perspective. What is going to be good for the grade 1 student that is also going to be good for the grade 12 student. And this was really an invitation for us to think about what it means to be learners, but also disciplined as Christians and thinkers here at LCS.
One of the most impactful conversations we had was a roundtable conversation where we invited Reverend Dr. Ray Eldridge and community member John Johnstone. We had asked them to come and review our curriculum to help us ensure that we were deconstructing or decolonizing some of the language that was used. They gave some great encouragement to the work that our team had already worked on and done throughout the process, but they also had some great stories to tell us and some other suggestions that we could put into what we could do in order to create a document that was really inviting our students into a relationship with Christ, as opposed to indoctrinating or just teaching. But what our goal is to invite our learners into this relationship.